I couldn't go past this new Zvezda release without giving it a look. The company has released the T-90MS in their limited but interesting range of modern armour in 1/100th scale. This tank is out of the timeline for games like Team Yankee, but worth a look. What's the quality going to be like stacked up against Zvezda's previous modern kits? Stick with me to find out. This is Zvezda 7434, the brand new T-90MS kit in 1/100th scale. In case you aren't familiar with this range, Zvezda produce kits in 1/100th or 15mm scale for wargaming. These were for both their modern rule set Hot War Battle for Oil and their World War II game Art of Tactic. However, both of these games have been discontinued, and the range seems to have pivoted to a history on the table modelling focus. The kits are snap fit, and the box contains parts to build one T-90MS tank. The box is marked in both English and Russian. If we turn the box around and get this display tab out of the way, there's an image of the completed kit, as well as a selection of other kits from Zvezda's modern range. I've reviewed a few of these before, but the BMP3 is new. I don't have one of those. The range also has a new self-propelled 152mm howitzer that I'd love to get hold of. The finished T90 kit is 9.5cm long and has 20 parts. There's also a QR code for an assembly video. Before we look at the plastic, what is the T90? In the 1980s, the Soviet Union simultaneously fielded several different main battle tanks, mainly the T-72, T-64 and the T-80. The T-72 was chosen as the basis for a design to replace all these with a single type, simplifying procurement, support and logistics. The T-90 program mated the proven T-72B hull and suspension with the fire control system of the T-80U and an upgraded engine. T-90 entered service in 1992, but serial production was low following the breakup of the Soviet Union. Less than 150 of this type were built. Crew is 3 men, a commander, gunner and driver. Loading of the main gun is via an autoloader. Protection includes IR dazzlers, laser warning receivers and smoke grenade launchers, as well as Contact 5 ERA. The T-90A introduced a new welded turret, replacing the traditional cast dome type. This was followed in 2019 with the T-90M. This modernised variant had a new gun, the 2A46M5, relic ERA replacing Contact 5, and a remote weapons system for the commander's gun. T-90 has seen active service with the Russian military and has been exported to a number of countries, including India, Iraq, Vietnam and Syria. The T-90MS version of this kit is actually an export version of the Russian T-90M. Let's look at the plastic. This kit comes on 2 sprues of dark green plastic. The parts count is higher than previous Zvezda kits in the range, almost more like a model kit than a simple wargaming kit. Some of this comes from the snap-fit nature of the design. Overall, the detail is plentiful and the mould quality is nice and sharp. It looks great. This sprue has the upper and lower turret piece, the upper hull, rear stowage basket, rear hull and internal bracing piece. There's also the PK machine gun for the remote weapon station and the upper portions of the external fuel drums. This closer look at the turret shows off the ERA panels of the relic system. The wedge shape of the welded turret is pretty clear too. Both the commander's and loader's hatches are moulded closed. Detail includes the shell case ejection hatch, smoke discharges, gunner's sight, and what looks like sensors for the laser warning system. The base of the remote weapon station is directly behind the commander's hatch. The M and MS variants have an extended turret bustle, which can be seen here. Overall, there's more than enough detail for a 15mm kit, and it's generally pretty sharp. Things are maybe a little soft around the smoke discharges, but overall Zvezda seems to have stepped up their skills in this scale. The upper hull looks pretty good too, plenty of ERA detail on the glacis plate. The driver's hatch is positioned centrally and moulded closed. The engine grills look good, and there's plenty of other surface detail here. Lots of things to catch a dry brush during painting. The lower turret piece is moulded integral with the main gun. This is similar to the engineering on their T-72 kit. There's also some nice ERA block detail under here. External fuel tanks are a characteristic of Russian designs, and the tops of the drums are here. There is a mould line I can see here that will need to be cleaned up, but nothing major. The machine gun for the remote weapons system is a delicate part, so take care with this to avoid breakage. There's a moulding tab that will need to be removed from the barrel. The T-90M weapon station is equipped with the 6P49 Cord 12.7mm heavy machine gun, but the MS has a 7.62mm PK machine gun instead. Interestingly, the weapon station has the feed ramp here, but the kit doesn't include an ammunition drum for the gun to feed from. The last pieces on this sprue are the hull rear, turret stowage rack, and the internal bracing piece for the hull. The bracing piece is required by the snap-fit nature of the kit. The various hull pieces have sockets that attach to the posts here, helping both secure and align all the parts. The second sprue has the side skirts, hull sides and tracks, as well as the lower hull. There's also slat armour pieces for the rear hull, as well as a wind sensor and the lower portion of the external fuel drums. Part of the complexity here is linked to being a snap-fit kit. There's a lot of pieces that need to fit together with post and sockets, necessitating a slightly higher parts count for the hull. The tracks are one-piece parts, including the tracks and road wheels. The road wheels are the large spoke type from the T-72. Detail here is pretty good, and there's return rollers and track guides. However, the track detail is simplified, just fairly soft ridged bars. This is not great, but should be sufficient for a 15mm scale wargaming kit. But there's a prominent mould line down the middle of both track parts. That's going to take some cleanup. Luckily, most of the track run is obscured under the side skirts. Both sides of the kit have separate hull pieces and side skirt pieces. The side skirt detail includes boxes for the Relict ERA. Relict is an improved ERA system over the earlier Contact 5, and it's meant to be more effective against AP and heat rounds. The two sockets at the rear are for mounting the slat armour panels. On the flip side, there's some sockets to mount the skirts onto the hull parts. In this view, we can also see the suspension arms and other details on the hull side piece. The track parts will fit onto the mounting pegs here. The parts for the left side are similar, but include what I'm assuming are an engine exhaust vent on the side. The prominent sockets on the hull part secure to the bracing piece, helping align the parts and keep everything together. The lower portion of the external fuel drums are here. This part sandwiches onto the hull, so don't leave it for later in the assembly. The wind sensor next to it looks like it will be difficult to cut free without damaging it. Take care here. There's a D-shaped post on one end that fits into a socket on the turret for placement. The slat armour panels are for the rear of the side skirts. One of them has a cutout for the exhaust, so that should help you work out which side is which. The slat armour is a standoff metal grid designed to disrupt incoming heat warheads. It's intended to prevent detonation by damaging the warhead's fusing or disrupting the formation of the explosive jet by deforming the warhead. Reportedly, the armour is effective in about 50% of hits. This leaves the lower hull. For a piece that won't be seen much, there's a ton of detail here. There are hatches, torsion bar channels, and the actuators and blade for the built-in entrenching dozer blade. There's even bolts for the mine roller system. So that's the parts for the Zvezda 15mm T-90MS kit. I think it looks great. There's a ton of detail and the moulding looks nice and sharp. I'm no Russian tank surgeon, but the shape of the overall kit looks good, capturing the feel of the real thing. There are some downsides. The prominent mould lines on the tracks are annoying and will need some cleanup. The snap-fit engineering of the kit complicates the engineering in places, and I'm not looking forward to cutting out that wind sensor without breaking it. But these are minor issues, and none of them are deal breakers. It's great to have this kit available in 15mm. Comparing this kit with their earlier T-72B is instructive. The improved detail shows the pivot from a simple wargaming kit to more of a small-scale model. This is reflected in the branding, which doesn't mention the long-dead Hot War wargame anywhere. The number of thin parts like the in-scale machine gun and very slender wind sensor are clear indications that these kits are moving away from their wargaming roots. These are pretty delicate details if the kit was intended for table handling during play. Given the T-90MS doesn't enter service until 2014, it's outside of the 1980s, early 90s scope for Team Yankee. There are no official stats for it. Maybe another rule set covers it. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this look inside the new Zvezda T-90 kit. I know I did. Are you interested in looking at this kit? Would you build it just as a model, or do you have plans to use it on a tabletop somewhere? Let us know in the comments below. Also let me know if you'd like to see other Zvezda kits in this scale covered on the channel. Thanks for watching. See you next time.